1. Introduction. My name is Clara. My family was very rich. We lived in a very big house. We had many parties, always. People came. They wore expensive clothes. They talked about money and business. I wore beautiful dresses too, made by famous designers. But I was often sad. I felt bored all the time. The parties were always the same. The people said the same things again and again. I did not feel happy inside my heart. One night, there was a very big party at our house. The music played loudly. Many people talked and laughed and drank expensive drinks. I did not want to be there. I felt trapped. I went outside to the garden. It was late, and the garden was quiet and dark, except for the party lights in the distance. I liked the garden more than the noise inside. In the garden, I saw a man. He was not a guest at the party. He worked for my family, helping with the party. He was putting flowers on a table near the big tree. He looked strong but gentle. He looked up and saw me. He smiled. His smile was simple and warm. It was different from the smiles I saw inside the house. "Hello," I said quietly. I was surprised I said anything. He stopped his work and said, "Hello." His voice was soft and polite. He carried some beautiful flowers in his arms. He dropped a small flower. It was a pretty blue one, like the color of the night sky. I walked to it and picked it up carefully. "Here," I said, giving it back to him. "Thank you very much," he said again. "My name is James. My name is Clara." We talked for a few minutes. Not long, maybe 5 minutes. He told me he liked looking at the stars at night when his work was finished. He said they made him feel free. I said I liked stars too, and that I often watched them from my window. It felt easy to talk to him. He was very different from the rich young men I met at parties. He felt real and honest. Then I heard a voice. My mother came into the garden quickly. She saw me standing and talking with James. Her face became very hard and serious. She did not smile at all. "Clara," she said loudly. Her voice was cold and sharp like ice. "Come inside now, immediately." She looked at James with cold eyes. James looked down at the flowers in his hands. I felt a little afraid of my mother's anger. I said goodbye to James with my eyes. I turned and went inside with my mother. The party felt even more boring and fake after that short time in the garden. I could not stop thinking about James, his kind smile, his soft voice, the way he talked about stars and feeling free. He was just a worker for my family. But he felt more real and more interesting than anyone I had ever met at a party. My life looked rich from the outside, with the big house and the parties and the dresses. But inside, I felt empty and lonely. James made it feel a little less empty for a short time. I did not know why this felt so important, but I wanted to know more about him. I kept thinking about the small blue flower and his warm smile in the dark garden. 2. Our secret meetings. I wanted to see James again very much. After After I met him in the garden, I could not stop thinking about him. He was different from the people in my world. I learned he worked sometimes in a small flower shop. This shop was near a big park in the city. I decided I had to find him. It felt important. One afternoon, I went to that park. I wore simple clothes, not my usual expensive dresses. I walked near the flower shop and I saw him. He was carrying flowers. He looked surprised to see me there. "Clara," he said. I smiled. "Hello, James," I said. We started to talk. Soon, we walked in the park together. It was a public park, full of different people. Children played, old people sat on benches. I liked it more than my quiet, big garden at home. After that first time, we planned to meet again. It had to be a secret. We met in the park, or sometimes at a small cafe that was not well known. No one from my family ever went to places like that. In these meetings, we talked a lot. I learned about his life. He worked hard every day. He told me about his dreams. He wanted to build things with his hands. He had simple dreams, but they were strong and real. I told him about my life. I felt like a bird in a beautiful, golden cage. I had everything money could buy, but I did not feel free. I felt trapped. James listened to me. He understood how I felt. That was important to me. With each meeting, my feelings for James grew stronger. When he looked at me with his kind eyes, I felt warm inside. Holding his hand felt exciting and safe at the same time. It was our own small world away from my family's eyes. I realized I was falling in love with James. It was a wonderful feeling, new and strong for me. Our meetings were our secret. A happy secret, but I was also scared. What if my family found out? What would happen then? This fear was always there, a small shadow on our happy times. Still, I wanted to see him more than anything. These secret moments with James were the best part of my life. 3. A difficult choice. My family started talking more and more about my future. They said it was time for me to marry. They did not ask me who I wanted. They chose a man for me. He was from a very rich family, just like mine. His name was Arthur. I met him sometimes at parties. He was always polite and wore expensive clothes. He talked about business and money. He was rich, yes, but he was also very boring. His eyes were polite, but they did not hold any warmth for me. My mother told me many times, "Arthur is a very good match, Clara. He is important and rich. This marriage will be good for you and good for our family's name." She thought only about money and position, but I did not love Arthur. I felt sad and trapped when they spoke of this marriage. I did not want to marry a man just because he was rich. I wanted to marry for love. My heart felt heavy, like a stone, when I thought about a future with Arthur. I knew I had to tell James about this pressure. I told him everything during one of our meetings. James listened quietly, holding my hands. His face showed he understood my difficult situation perfectly. He looked sad when I explained about Arthur and my family's plans for me. We were by the river that evening, watching the lights of the city dance on the water. The scene was beautiful, but my thoughts were troubled. James held my hands tightly. His hands were warm and strong, giving me comfort. "Clara," he said, his voice low and serious, "you know I am not a rich man. I do not have a big house or fine cars. I cannot give you the kind of life your family is used to or the things they think are important." He looked at me with his kind, honest eyes. "But there is one thing I can give you. I can give you all my love. I love you, Clara. I love you very, very much." Hearing him say those words made my heart feel completely full. It was a different kind of richness. It was true love, and it was worth more than all the money in the world. Small tears came into my eyes, but they were tears of happiness and relief. I felt a lightness I had not felt before. "I love you too, James," I said, my voice maybe a little shaky, but full of deep feeling. Then he reached into his pocket and took out a small box. It was a simple box, not covered in velvet. He opened it carefully. Inside, on a soft cloth, was a ring. It was simple and beautiful. It was made of silver and had one small, clear stone that caught the light. It was not large or shiny like the expensive rings my mother and her friends wore. But to me, it was the most beautiful ring in the world. It represented something real and true. James looked into my eyes again, his own eyes full of hope and love. He asked the question that would change everything. "Clara," he said, "will you marry me? Will you leave that old life and build a new one with me?" I looked at James, at his face, at the love in his eyes. I thought quickly about my life in the big house, the parties, the rules, the sadness. Then I thought about James, his kindness, his warmth, the simple happiness we found together. This was the moment of choice. My heart knew the answer immediately. "Yes," I said, my voice strong and sure. "Yes, James, I will marry you. I choose you." A wonderful, wide smile spread across his face. He carefully took the ring from the box and put it onto my finger. It fit perfectly, like it was made just for me. I was so happy in that moment. My heart felt light, like it could fly away. But even in my happiness, I felt a small fear. I knew my family would be very angry. I knew this choice was difficult and would have big results. But my decision was made. I chose James and our love, and that felt more important than anything else. For a new life. Telling my family about marrying James was one of the hardest things I ever did. My father was not happy. He became very angry. His face turned a dark red color. He shouted at me, "You cannot marry that man. He has no money, no important family. If you go with him, you are not my daughter anymore. I will not help you." My mother was also very upset. She cried and held her hands together. She said, "Clara, please, please think about your future. Your life will be very hard with him." but I had made my choice. My heart was with James. He was the future I wanted. Our wedding was very small. It was not like the big weddings my family knew. We did not have hundreds of guests or a big church. We went to a simple office in the town with one person who could marry us. James wore a new suit. It was simple but clean. I wore a simple white dress. It was a quiet, happy day for us. Only one person from my old life came to be with me. It was my best friend from school, Sarah. She stood with me. No one from my family came. This made me feel a little sad because I missed them. But James held my hand. He looked at me with his kind eyes and said softly, "I am here, Clara. We are together now." His words were very important to me. They made me feel strong and happy. After we were married, we moved into our first home together. It was a small apartment in the city. It had only 2 rooms, a small kitchen, and a small bathroom. It was very, very different from the big house where I grew up. In my old house, there were many rooms and many people who worked for us. Here, there was only James and me. There were no servants to cook or clean. We had to do everything ourselves. It was a big change, a completely new way of living. Soon, the news about my marriage spread quickly through the rich world I came from. People talked a lot. The newspapers wrote stories about us. The big word they used was scandal. The stories said things like, "Rich girl gives up everything for poor man." They were not kind stories. People said I was foolish. They said James only married me because he wanted money from my family. But my father had said he would give me nothing. So the stories were not true. My mother's friends whispered about me when they met. The noise of the newspapers and the whispers was very loud in my mind sometimes. My old life, the life of the rich heiress who was often sad and bored, was finished now. This new life with James in our small home was just beginning. Sometimes the whispers hurt, but I looked at James and felt happy. Our new life together was starting now. It was very different, but it was ours. 5 hard work and worries. Life in the small apartment was very new. I never cooked before or cleaned a home. It was different from my old life. In my old life, many people helped with everything. Now I did everything myself. Sometimes it was hard work. My hands became a little rough from washing things. I was tired at night, but it was a good tired. I was learning. James worked more hours at his job. He wanted to give us a good life. I saw he was tired too when he came home. We worried about money sometimes. Money was not easy to find. Sometimes we had only a little money for food or things we needed. We looked at our money often. James worked very hard as a builder. His hands were strong from his work. My mother came to visit one day. It was a surprise. She looked at our small rooms. Her face looked sad. She sat on our small sofa. "Clara," she said, "this is not for you. Your life is hard here." She asked me to come home. She said my old room was still there in the big house. She looked like she might cry. It hurt my heart a little to see her sad. I missed some small things from my old life sometimes. But I looked around our small home. I saw James's coat on a chair. I thought about our life together, just us. It was our life. It was hard, yes, but it was ours. I held my hands together. I looked at my mother. I said again, "No, Mother, I love James. This is my home now." She did not understand why I chose this life. Then a woman from my old life tried to cause trouble. Her name was Victoria. She always wanted things I had. She was clever and liked to win. She sent a letter to James, not to me. The letter talked about a fancy party. It said a rich man there needed a builder. Victoria wrote, "Clara must miss her old friends. It would be good for her to see them." I read the letter. I knew Victoria did not care about helping James or me. She wanted to make problems for us. She wanted to show James that his life was small. Maybe she wanted him to think about money. Or maybe she liked James. I felt a little cold inside. Victoria was a shadow from my past, and she was trying to step into my new life. It made me worry about what she would do next. 6. A big misunderstanding. People in the town still talked about us. They said bad things. They whispered that James married me because I was rich. They did not know my father gave me no money. They said James did not love me. They said he would leave me soon. When life got hard, they said he would find a new, richer woman. These words were like small stones hitting me. They hurt. I tried not to listen. But sometimes the whispers felt loud in my head. Life was not easy. James worked very hard. I saw that he was tired. He came home late sometimes. He was quiet. He looked worried. Did the whispers make him worry, or was it something else? One day I was walking near the market. I saw James. He was standing with a woman. The woman was Victoria. Victoria was from my old life. She always wanted the things I had. She did not have a kind heart, even if she smiled. Victoria was talking to James. She laughed loudly. Then she put her hand on his arm. It was just for a second, but I saw it. My heart felt very cold. A big fear started inside me. Why was James talking to Victoria? Victoria did not like me. The bad whispers came back to my mind. He will leave you. He tricked you. I looked at James and Victoria talking. They looked like they were friends. Was it true? Did James not love me anymore? Was he looking for a different life? A richer life, maybe with Victoria? I felt very alone in that moment. I had left my family, my big house, my old life for James. He was my new life, my family. Now, did I lose him too? Was our love not strong enough for this hard life? Was it a mistake? I did not know what to think. That night in our small bedroom, I could not sleep. I thought about James, about Victoria, about the whispers. I felt very scared. Tears came to my eyes. The talk of the town, the scandal, felt like it was breaking my heart. and our love into small pieces. 7. The truth. Clara felt a cold fear inside her heart. The bad whispers about James and Victoria felt like sharp knives. She knew she could not live like this. She needed to know the truth, the real truth. That night, after dinner in their small kitchen, she looked at James. Her voice was quiet, a little shaky. "James," she said softly, "do you still love me, or do you want a different life now, an easier life?" James stopped what he was doing. He looked at her with surprise. Then his face became very sad. "Clara," he said softly, "my dearest Clara, how can you ask this? I love you more than words can say. Why do you think I don't love you?" Clara took a deep, shaky breath. She told him everything that was in her heart. She told him about seeing him and Victoria talking. She told him about the people who whispered that he only married her for her old money, that he would leave her now because life was hard. She told him how much these words hurt her and made her afraid. James walked to her and held her close in his arms. He held her tightly, as if he would never let go. "Clara," he said, his voice serious, "you must listen to me. That woman, Victoria. She came to me. She offered me a very good job, a job with her father's big company. It was a good offer, yes, but she said I had to leave you. She wanted to break us apart." He pulled back slightly to look into her eyes. "I told her no, Clara. I told her I love you. I told her I would never leave you. I told her I did not want her job if it meant losing you. I told her to stay away from us." "But you were quiet," Clara said, remembering his silence. "And you were late coming home that day." "I was quiet because I was worried," James explained gently. "Not about us ending, never that. I was worried about our future. I want to give you a better life, Clara. I was looking for a new job, a better job for us. I was late that day because I was talking to a man about a possible job, a good, honest job for our future together." Clara felt a huge, heavy weight lift from her heart. It felt like the sun coming out after a storm. The fear was gone. She understood everything now. James was not leaving her. He was working hard for her, for them. They talked for a long time that night, holding each other close. They cried a little, but they were tears of relief and love. The misunderstanding was gone completely. Their love felt strong again, maybe stronger than it had ever been. It was their truth, the real story. Clara felt something new inside her, a fire, strength. She was not just the scared girl from the big house anymore. She was Clara, James's wife, building a life she chose. A few days later, her mother called. She asked Clara to come to her house for tea. Clara went. Her mother looked around the small apartment when she arrived, her face full of pity, as if Clara was living a sad life. "Clara," her mother started, her voice full of her usual ideas about what was best. "My dear, if you would just think about your future, if you would only—" Clara stopped her. She stood up a little straighter. Her voice was clear and steady. "Mother," she said, "I love James. I am truly happy with him. This is my life now. This is my choice." She looked directly at her mother. "The talk, the scandal, the things people whisper, that is not our life. That is just noise from other people outside. Our love is real. It is true for us. That is what matters." Her mother was quiet for a long moment. She looked at Clara's face, seeing her strength. Maybe, just maybe, for the first time she truly heard her daughter. Clara felt a deep, quiet peace inside. She had found her voice, and it was strong. 8. Our happy ending. Life after the wedding was not easy like in stories. It was work, and it was new. But it became our life, and it was good for us. James worked very hard every day. He found a better job with a small building company. They liked that James always worked hard and was honest in everything he did. He was happy working there because he liked to build things with his hands. I found that I liked to draw pictures. I was good at it. I started to draw pictures of flowers from the park and streets from our city. They were small pictures. I took them to a market near our home every Saturday. People liked my pictures and they bought them. I started to earn some money from my drawings. It was not a lot of money, but it helped us with our bills and food each week. We did not have a lot of money, not like my family had in their big house, but we had enough for our life together. We had our small apartment, warm clothes for winter, food to eat every day, and a comfortable bed to sleep in. We worked hard, but we were happy together. Most importantly, we had each other and our love that grew stronger every day. Slowly, over time, my mother started to visit us more often in our apartment. She did not look sad when she saw our small rooms anymore. She saw that James was a good man and was always kind and loving to me. She saw that I was not broken by leaving my old life. She saw that I was truly happy and strong now. One day, she brought a small green plant for our kitchen window. It was a small thing, but it meant that she accepted our life a little more. My father never called me or visited. It still made me a little sad sometimes, but James was my family now, and that was enough for me. People in the city slowly stopped talking about the scandal of the rich girl and the poor man. The story became old news for them. We were just us now, Clara and James, living our quiet, happy life together. I learned something very important from all of this change. I learned that being truly rich is not only about having money in the bank. In my old life, my family had a lot of money and a big house, but I was often sad in my heart and felt alone. Now, our pockets were not as full of money as before, but my heart was very, very rich. I had James, my best friend and husband, and we had our strong love for each other. This was the best kind of rich for us. The story people told about us at first was the scandal, the big noise that happened. But our true story was our love that grew stronger each day we were together. We built a life together that was our kind of rich, full of happiness, hard work, and deep love.